What's up, everybody? My name is Godzi, and welcome back to some more Umineko When They Cry questions arc. Last episode, we fast-forwarded to the future again with Angie, and she was investigating more of what happened on Rokonjima, as was expected, and we met these three, Nanjo Masayuki, Kumasawa Sabakichi, and Captain Kawabata. And she found out something about a weird-ass letter that, Masayuki and Sabakichi here got, and she also got one, as she claims to remember. I'm not obviously I don't know exactly why they would do that. It's really weird, but I think, at least with Masayuki's, the bank pin had, was like the 0715, something like that. I forget the exact number, but it was the number that was put on the parlor door, which I find incredibly weird, and I don't know why. And, speaking of that, I need to bring something up. I don't know if it's just me misunderstanding something, but, I find that a lot of the time when I ask rhetorical questions in the series, like, why was, the number on the parlor door? What is this? What is that? What's the relation between these two things? It's, for the most part, rhetorical. I'm not asking the comments to tell me everything. I think someone got the wrong idea last episode when I asked why was the pin on the parlor door, and he told me to figure it out for myself. Yeah, I kind of plan on doing that. Sorry if there's any misunderstanding anywhere in there, but yeah, I mostly ask rhetorical questions. I'm not necessarily expecting an answer, and for the most part, I don't even really want answers. It is questions arc after all. I'm expecting to have questions and not answers, so yeah, let's get back into this. A test? Yes. Listen well. I'm assuming that's Kraus, yeah. Once again, there was a call from Kraus to the guest house, and that message was that Kinzo wanted to hold a test to see if the grandchildren had the qualifications to become his successor. The head has said that his successor will not be one of us siblings. Well, I'd imagine, since you're the only one left, unless you count Kyrie, which I don't, that he wants to pick from among his grandchildren. From Kraus's restrained style of speech, Jessica realized as his daughter that he was being forced to speak. And she was forced to realize that the hostages were being exposed to danger even now, and that if they refused this test, there was a possibility that the hostages would be harmed. Then, what should we do? Indeed. Hold on. Kraus put down the receiver, then looked at the grinning Kinzo on the other side of the bars. Kinzo gave his next order. Before the test, those not involved must be removed. Goda and Kumasawa are there, I believe. It will be a problem if they interfere with the test. Banish them from the guest house. Banish, you say? There should be a gardening storehouse in the Rose Garden. Lock Goda and Kumasawa in there. We'll begin from there. Tell them to do it immediately. My weapons will be watching. If they happen to do anything questionable, I'll instantly stop the test and execute all of you as sacrifices. I understand. Hello, Jessica? Listen closely to what I say. Kraus relayed the orders to lock up Goda and Kumasawa. What kind of test are you planning? It truly is a simple test. I only want my grandchildren to show me their resolve. Well then, I wonder what kind of results they'll show me. I sure do wonder what the test is going to be like. I've kind of been curious with this since he mentioned it. Looking disgusted, Kyrie watched Kraus, who was talking with the children. I hate it, but for now we cannot refuse orders. In this dungeon, a feeble resistance won't amount to anything. If we provoke him too much and drive him into a position where he might kill us, there will no longer be any way to stop this murderer. For now, the only choice left is to obey his rules without agitating him, all the while waiting for an opportunity. However, if we continue to obediently follow his commands, the children might be attacked in this so-called test, and they might even lose their lives. Whether we feign obedience or try to resist, nothing will cause the situation to improve. Anyway, straining our eyes so that we don't let a single chance escape until the very end is the only resistance possible now. While telling herself this, Kyrie watched over Kraus as he delivered Kinzo's orders. Kyrie. Let us be patient. I understand. It's unfortunate, but all we can do right now is wait. If only we could do something about these bars, we'd be able to return to the mansion. If only we could somehow get out of here. I'll try something. Kinzo, I have a request. What is it, my friend? We understand well that you want to test the children. It is fine for you to do as you desire. Without your power, the Ushiromiyas family might have been destroyed long ago. We truly understand why you want to carefully select the person who will take charge. Besides, that is what the family conference is all about. We won't get in your way. Your insight is useful. That's right. This is the family conference. The final family conference, where I will select my successor. And yet, who's talking? Yeah, I think Kyrie, and yet Kinzo? Wait, no, that's Nanjo, because she'd say father or something. And yet, Kinzo, it is far too cold here. Since we won't interfere with your test, couldn't you take us to a slightly warmer place? At Nanjo's words, the slight signs that Kinzo's mood had been improving were blown away. Nanjo was struck with a moment of silence as Kinzo gazed at him with dangerous eyes, as though appraising him. At the very least, Nanjo, Kinzo can trust Nanjo. I don't know if he'd want to trust the others. Maybe, well, Cannon and Shannon are there too. I'd say if I were Kinzo, I wouldn't trust Kyrie or, Kraus, but Nanjo at the very least. I mean, if he's my friend, you know? Certainly, this place is cold. It's tough on an old body. Master, wouldn't it be alright if we move them upstairs? I cannot do that! Are you naive, Nanjo? So, by acting as though you'll skip this turn, you truly and splendidly advance your strategy? I'm not falling for that. You see? If you're freezing, then why don't I line the floor with red-hot coals? My apologies. Virgilia had tried to help out, but in the end, Kinzo would not comply. You two sure are obedient. If you felt like it, you could easily break these bars. Even if we break them, nothing will come of it. Of course, if you were to break these, it would mean the end of Goldsmith's game. All of you, as well as those humans in the guest house, would immediately become sacrifices for Kinzo's ceremony. But surprisingly, you two might be the only ones, yes? Perhaps only you two hold the power to break out of this situation, right? You want to reach the Golden Land, don't you? You must have many dreams you want granted, right? I don't know who was speaking those dots. Gap, you mustn't provoke them. This is not your game. It is the Master's, as well as Milady's game. What is it, Ronove? Oh no, nothing. You're not Ronove. We were talking to the prisoners. Forgive us. Gap sent one final sneering smile at Cannon, then turned away. Cannon could only bite his lower lip and shake his fists. Damn it. You did well. Good job hanging in there. We're powerless, because we're furniture. That's right, we're powerless. However, furniture is sometimes relied upon, and even loved. Right now, we've only been stored away in the basement. Surely one day, somebody will love us. What if the whole trick to this series is that Shannon, Cannon, and I guess maybe Genji actually are just like a couch, a chair, and in Cannon's case, a fucking toilet, because he's shitty, haha. What if that's, like, actually the case? Like, I'm literally spitballing, and there's no way this is the actual case. But if witches exist, who's to say that couches can't turn into a maid? Who's to say a couch can't turn into a maid, you know? Transformers exist. If my car can be a robot, then my couch can be a human female. Jesus Christ, that's the dumbest theory I've ever had. Right now, we've only been stored away in the basement. Surely, one day, somebody will love us, because they rely on us. That's why, for now, let's ignore the provocation and bear with it. Okay? Father, I've ordered them to lock up Goda and Kumasawa in the storehouse. Very well. Hang up now. Chester sisters, observe the grandchildren as they lock Goda and Kumasawa away. If they do anything suspicious, then in that moment, the selection test for my successor will be over. When Kinzo made his order, the Chester sisters appeared behind him in a line. Understood, sir. I will scout. 556 and 410 will cover both flanks. 556? That's a new one. 45, you're on wide area surveillance. Double O. 556 is... that's right. Sorry. I was fucking right. That fourth one did exist, but Rosa destroyed the vessel. Ha! I was right, bitch! I don't know who's talking. She was a good kid. That's why I don't like them, yeah? Good people. What are you doing, Chester sisters? Follow my orders! My apologies, sir. Then let us go observe. Move out. I was fucking right about another one. So, what was it? 556? I'll have to remember that. The Chester sisters erased their forms simultaneously. Nanjo and Kyrie had witnessed the instance they appeared and disappeared as if by teleportation. But they interpreted this as moving in and out of the darkness in a way that only looked like teleportation. And the two could do nothing but rub their eyes. Well then, I shall begin the preparations for the test. Uronove, Gap. I'm asking you to be the examiners. Virgilia, you'll watch these rats. After all, 2 of my furniture are here. Just in case, be on your guard. He glanced at Shannon and Cannon. Tightly closing her eyes, Shannon gave a silent bow and answered wordlessly, avoiding any unnecessary actions. I had a lot of nacho cheese on a hot dog for dinner, so... yeah, I had diabetes for dinner, and I guess burping is a thing that causes, so... I'm gonna try to burp quietly, so... Sorry. Certainly. I'll be careful. Isn't this cold hard on your old body, Leah? Should I bring you a hot water bottle? Yep, she's completely German now. I'm an idiot. Shut up. Go quickly. Gap. You shortened the gap. Well, now what a strange experience this game is, to have a test and examiners. I do hope this development entertains milady. Come, arise, goat attendants. Oh boy, here comes the beefy goat men. We are here. Virgilia began to call out into the darkness, and from that spot, 3 massive goat-headed attendants suddenly appeared. Ah, Beto's minions. How convenient. Plus, they seem so warm. See, so you'll use them instead of a hot water bottle. In that case, wouldn't sheep have been better than goats? You're the one wearing cashmere. They aren't very bright, but they faithfully follow orders and are quite dependable. Virgilia seems like really caught off guard right now. I don't know why, though. Indeed. I leave it to you, my friend, Virgilia. The rest of you, follow me. With a dignified gesture, Kinzo fluttered his cloak. Following him were Ronove and Gap, as well as the 3 recently summoned goat attendants. Hey, you 3 are supposed to wait here with me. Don't follow them. The goats jumped in surprise and then came tottering back. Kyrie, who had been watching stunned as all of this played out, couldn't help but snort. What entertaining underlings. Lord Goldsmith did not give you permission to speak. She was probably embarrassed. Virgilia had spoken coolly, but Kyrie saw through that, and for a little while, she couldn't restrain her muffled laughter. However, on the inside, Kyrie was surprised at the number of people Kinzo had with him. After all, including Kinzo himself, at least 10 enemies had already been spotted. The dungeon they were currently locked in was supposedly underneath the hidden mansion called Kuadorian. Although this mansion had been whispered of, not even Kraus had known of its existence until today. I still have reason to believe that Kumasawa does, due to her parallel with Virgilia, but whatever. Are there actually several facilities like this on Rokonjima, where many unknown henchmen that only Kinzo knows of hide? Just how many humans are on Rokonjima, locked away by the typhoon? I'd imagine, 18? No, on the contrary. Were we the only ones under the impression that there were only 18 people on this island? Were we, who bickered over whether Beatrice existed or not, and worried about whether a 19th person existed or not, nothing more than the frogs in a well on this island? No wait, not only that. By now, are there actually more people on the enemy side than on ours? There's a fuck ton of goats, so probably. Just what the hell is going on? Witches, demons, magic? Are you telling us to believe in those? Are my eyes screwed up, or is it my head? I think I'm losing it. A mass murder by magic. Demons forming and disappearing into thin air. Setting aside the enemy's numbers, how should we interpret the various things thrust before our eyes that cannot be explained with the common sense of our world? Kyrie started to feel like she didn't know what was going on anymore, and while desperately battling the urge to abandon everything and give up, she grit her teeth and tried to hold on to her sanity. So another, like, magic real, magic not real type scenario. Obviously, Goda and Kumasawa were quite unwilling to be locked in the Rose Garden shed. But they were threatened that if they resisted, the hostages' safety could not be guaranteed. It was fairly hard to get them to agree, but once they started thinking that their safety might actually be guaranteed if the key to the garden storehouse was to be handed to them after being shut inside, and when it was decided that blankets and food would be carried in for them, they were finally convinced. They're so dead. Those two are so fucking toast. This place is pretty chilly. I wonder how long we'll have to stay locked in here. It could be as late as Monday morning at the worst, so a full day and night. I really feel bad about doing this to you two. George and Batler cleared a space on the floor, then spread the blankets there. They also left the canned food, crackers, and other light snacks they had brought. They're so fucked. It'll be hard for you guys to go until Monday with just this. If only we could make a trip to the kitchen. They said not to go anywhere we weren't told to. Sounds like we're being watched. Damn. I am honestly sorry that we cannot be of any use. And these are the times that we are that we are truly supposed to be at your sides. It can't be helped. More importantly, take care of Kumasawa. I did not mean to do that. We don't know what might happen. If the going gets tough, I'd like you to play it by ear and come to the rescue. And more than anything, I want you to be safe. Yes, I understand. Please be careful, everyone. Right now, the Master is taking human lives like they're pieces on a chessboard. Please look out for yourselves. Goda stared at the floor, even now unable to believe what had happened as he remembered that atrocity in the dining hall, and he hung his head in shame at his failure to fully describe that terror. Thank you. Make sure you stay on your guard. You too, Kumasawa. And you all please take care as well. I don't have any idea what's going on anymore. Well then, we'll be off. Let's go, Battler, Jessica. Come on, you too, Maria. Looking at the pitiful expressions on the imprisoned pair's faces, it got really hard to close the shutter. But we can't disobey. We were being watched. The shutter was brought down and locked. Then George walked toward the small window on the side of the storehouse. At that side, there was a small latticed window that could only admit light and ventilation. There was a window on the storehouse. Well, it's tiny, I guess. Only admit light and ventilation. Yeah, okay. It looked like something from a jail, making the two of them seem even more pitiable. But on the other hand, it would probably protect them from Kinzo and his subordinates. He opened the window and called out. Are you okay? You aren't cold, are you? We're okay. You've given us so many blankets after all. If we wrap ourselves up, we'll be just fine. I wish we could have brought them a kerosene stove or something. But it wouldn't have any ventilation here. It'll probably be tough for them, but there's nothing we can do now. Hostages are being held against us. We can't disobey. Damn it. If we manage to save Kyrie and the rest somehow... Shh. They might be listening. Goda, here. It's a key to the shutter. Indeed. I'll hold on to it. So, I'm assuming Goda and Kumasawa are definitely gonna die. And the key will still be inside. So, it'll be really confusing, won't it? But Master Keys, I guess. Canon, Shannon, Genji. Genji's dead. Never mind. Well, his key isn't. Goda took the key, showed it to Kumasawa, and placed it in his own pocket. There's only one key to the gardening shed's shutter. That key was being held by the ones locked up inside it. I just realized. If I go here... Yeah, they've never found any bodies yet, so according to the game, these characters are still technically alive, which is weird, except they are supposedly dead. So, wow. There's only one key to the gardening shed shutter. That key was being held by the ones locked up inside it. If the children had kept it and had it stolen from them by some chance, that would do nothing but expose the lives of those in the shed to danger. Oh, the master key does not work on it? Okay, that's really strange. Why wouldn't it? And even with the key, the shutter could not be opened from the inside. Kinzo's demands were fulfilled this way. I mean, unless it's a different type of lock. However, there was now no longer any way to open the shed from the outside either. This protected them. Kinzo had ordered that they be confined, and we could do nothing but trust that this cold, closed room would protect them. Jessica watched this while holding Maria's hand, then looked over the thickets in the pitch-black rose garden. Somewhere in this darkness, somebody was hiding, watching to see whether we obeyed orders or not. Of course, when we pointed our flashlights out there, no suspicious silhouettes appeared. But somebody was surely out there, hiding and watching. I was hit many times with an urge to scream at them, but I was able to hold that urge back through reason. The 4 children left the area, repeatedly looking back over their shoulders. This is a really weird way that they're doing this game. Because the others were still just like, yeah, magic happened, but, well, magic was used in some way, the way it's presented to us. And well, it wasn't set up like this, that's for sure. There weren't hostages taken at all. Well, maybe. There might have been at some point, I don't know. The light from the faint light bulb in the gardening storehouse was seeping out slightly. I wonder if this insane incident will come to an end somehow, so that we can meet those two again. To George, who had closed the shutter himself, the resistance of the lock had made it feel as though he'd killed them with his own hands. But even so, we can't defy them. What's with this test? Damn geezer, don't screw with us. Killing Mom, capturing Dad for that? I don't get it, I'll kill him. It's okay, Jessica. There's nothing to be sad about. Your mom is dead. Well, Maria and her mom, never mind. Maria. Soon the witch will be revived. Soon we'll be able to meet in the Golden Land. Ouch. Don't laugh indiscreetly like that. Seriously, a resurrection ceremony for a witch? Getting so many people involved in delusions he should have just kept inside his head. That's what's gonna cost you, bastard. Let's return to the guest house. It'll be bad if we aren't there when Grandfather calls. Urged on by George, everyone began walking towards the guest house. At that moment, Jessica turned in a circle, facing towards the darkness of the rose garden, and roared. Hey! Someone's watching, right? Tell the old man. Tell him I'm gonna fucking kill him! Let's go. Of course, there was no reply, only the howl of the wind and rain. Jessica's probably toast too now. The children returned to the guest house, while fearing what was waiting for them up ahead. After they left, from the exact point in the darkness that Jessica had yelled at, 2 rabbit ears sprung up. Sorry. They found me out. It's because you're too slow, yeah? Pendragon's going to scold you. I'm sorry. Please don't tell Pendragon. Be quiet. It was obviously just a bluff. Goda and Kumasawa's imprisonment confirmed. Mission complete. We'll report back. Yay! What does that even mean? Ouch! Do you want us all stuck on nothing but carrots and water because of collective responsibility? Let's go. Carrots and water? Are you guys actual fucking rabbits? So now what? The fact that they were being watched certainly seemed to be true. Because when they returned to the cousin's room, turned the lights on, and laid down under beds, the phone rang again. Earlier, Jessica had been answering the phone, seeing as this was her house. But now it was the eldest, George, who picked it up. This time, Kyrie was on the other end of the line. George handed it to Batware out of consideration. Hello? Kyrie? Is everything alright over there? Thanks for worrying. At the moment, we're all doing great here. Sorry, I've been ordered to refrain from idle chatter. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. The fact that they were hostages still hadn't changed. Kinzo, or one of his subordinates, was listening to the conversation. Batler restrained the urge to talk about other things and focus on what Kyrie had to say. The test will be carried out by Jessica, George, Battler, and Maria, in that order. You'll each be summoned in turn, so until then do not leave the room. When someone's called out, they'll head to their designated location alone. Battler repeated out loud so that the cousins listening in around him could hear. So it'll be Jessica, George, me, and Maria, in that order. We've got to stay in the room until we're called, right? Got it. Maria too? Even a 9-year-old girl. What's the damn geezer trying to force us to do, that bastard? The fate of the Ushiromiyas family rests in all of your hands. Do your best. Sure. Battler noticed a strange nuance in Kyrie's words. Even without any blood connection, he could still understand thanks to the long-lasting bond they shared. At this point, it doesn't make sense to worry about the Ushiromiyas family itself. That probably wasn't the message Kyrie wanted to send. She probably meant there's no way for us to escape from this dungeon, and we can only wait to be rescued. Our lives are in your hands. Something like that. Fair? Yeah, leave it to me. We don't know what kind of test it is, but no problem. I'll take it gladly. It's gonna be a serious test, right? Should we really go all out? Yes, it's a serious test. Grandfather truly does intend to test you all. It's useless. It's all useless. Some old fart on death's door is gonna give me a serious challenge? Let him spout nonsense after he gets in the coffin. I know he's there, so tell him this for me. I'll be your successor, and my first action will be to shove my fist into your face. Even without Kyrie having to repeat it, Battler's powerful declaration of war reached Kinzo's ears. Battler, I am truly looking forward to that. I can't wait to see just what a man who once threw away the Ushiromiyas name has attained. Just what lot in life he's reached when he appears before me. Tell him. Unfortunately, Kinzo's voice was not picked up by the receiver. Therefore, Kyrie spoke for him. It sounds like he's more than up for the challenge. Got that, Battler? There's no need to hold back. You are Rudolph's son. No, you are my son. I think that's just a general thing. Is that a revelation? I don't know. Don't tell me. Show me something I can brag about to anyone. I leave everything in your hands. Understood, Mom. Leave the rest to me. All of us here have lost the right to... Wait, that's her talking. All of us here have lost the right to inherit the position of successor. Now we're just the same as pieces taken off the game board looking on from the outside. So you'll have to fight by yourselves. Kyrie. The nuance of those words meant we've already given up, so forget about us. But for that very reason, I won't give up. I'll definitely crush this test or whatever and save everyone. In that case, here are his instructions for the first test. Jessica, go to your room. Really? Go to your room? What's your game, you damn geezer? It seems he means Jessica's personal room, the one in the mansion. I'll hand it over to Jessica. Tell her directly for me. Jessica, here. Hello? Yes, I understand. That's really weird. Starting with me, huh? Well, I've been ready. See you later. Even Jessica was probably tempted to succumb to the fear of a girl her age, but she crushed those feelings and strengthened her resolve. Be careful, okay? We're probably being watched, right? We can't do anything we aren't told. All we can do is exactly what they say. They say that old geezer killed those 6 in the dining hall instantly with no hesitation. So if we try to fight back, we might end up the same way. I know. I'll beat them at their own game. Don't do anything reckless. If you think you're in any danger, your own safety comes first. If Uncle Kraus finds out that his daughter sacrificed herself for him, there's no doubt it'll tear his heart apart. It goes the other way, too. If Mom and Dad are both killed and I'm the only one left, my heart will rip itself to pieces. Battler, what you said earlier is true, right? Yeah. Kyrie and the others are already prepared for what will happen. Then, the way things are now is just perfect. Everyone's lives rest on our shoulders. The hostages can't do anything while they're locked up. That means we'll have to manage something ourselves. If something happens, run back to the guest house. At that time, we'll be done playing along with Grandfather's game. George. At that time, we'll declare war. Wherever they're locked up, we'll save them, and we'll deal with Grandfather accordingly. Are you sure, George? Shannon's there too. That's why I'm saying it. I'm not sitting around and waiting for my fiancé to be killed. What scares me is not that Shannon might be killed by Grandfather. I'm just worried you guys will get there first and clobber the damn geezer who made my fiancé experience terror before I do. Christ, George. I see. This really does sound like a test to see who will be the successor. Yep. The first one to bury a fist into that old face will be the next head. George, Batwer, and Jessica each forcefully nodded their heads and put their fists together. Then Jessica headed off to her own room, as designated. Her form disappeared into the darkness of the rose garden, waving in the strong winds. Watching her go, George and Batwer gripped their fists even tighter, making them quiver. So is Jessica fucked, basically? Left on the second floor, Maria watched Jessica's back through the window. She wore a blank expression. I wonder what everyone's getting so upset about. Even though when Beatrice is revived, everyone will be brought back to life. Jessica's form was already being completely swallowed up by the darkness. At that time, the phone began to ring again. Batwer and George heard it and came clamoring back, but Maria picked up the receiver right away. Uh-oh, last time Maria had a phone. Oops. Hello? Is that Maria? Wait, is that Maria? It's me, Shannon. Would you please hand this phone to George? This time it was Shannon on the phone. And this time the message was to tell the next person, George, where he was to go. Oh, we're getting a transition. Okay. Well, I'm not stopping here. Oh, the clock is moving everywhere. Oh my fucking god. It's 11:12? 11:12. Got 11, or is it 11:11? Make a wish. So now what? That's the mansion entrance, yes. Very good. That's a door opening. This is likely Jessica. Yep. Of course, since the time of her birth, Jessica had been raised in this mansion. The atrophied, is that the word? Atrophied Western-style house that the cousins called a mansion was her home. And yet, she had never understood her cousin's feelings as much as she did today. At the same time, she had never felt her own home, which she knew well to be as alien as it seemed now. It's a good point. It is her own house. It's really weird. Her own room. This had once been her hideaway, the only place in this vast mansion where she could feel at peace. However, she had never felt as much pressure coming from that door as she did now. A test, you say? What the hell could be waiting in there? I'm not gonna find my desk and stuff dragged around all over the place, right? She acted tough, trying to deceive herself, trying to make herself believe that she wasn't scared of anything. Readying herself, she opened the door to her room. Well, Kinzo said Ronova and Gap are gonna do the test, right? So one of those two is probably in there. Yeah, Jessica's room. When she saw that, fortunately, the room didn't appear to be messed up. She relaxed. No one was there. Of course. There was nowhere for anyone to hide here. Right away, Jessica locked the door behind her. This way, the room was safe. She peeked under the bed and in the closet, but of course no one was hiding. What the hell? She looked at the clock. It was just past 23:10. As her tension lessened and fatigue came back to her entire body, she realized how messed up this whole day had been. It was still about 2300. The plan had been for all the cousins to gather, have fun playing around, and talk animatedly about various things together into the night. Normally we would have been doing that kind of thing right now. Why has that turned into this? It's all that damn geezer's fault. How could he do that? To Mom. To everyone. She shook her head back and forth with anger and sadness. But there was no one here to direct those emotions at. Because of the lock, this room's security was guaranteed. Remembering that one more time, Jessica somehow regained her calm. If it keeps up like this and nothing happens, I want to go to the dining hall and see Mom's dead face. even though Goda emphasized so strongly that it was gruesome and that I definitely shouldn't go to look at it. Even so, I wanted to see her face at the end. But we were warned repeatedly that stepping out of line even a little would put the hostages in danger. Could it be that locking the door was also against the rules? If I close myself up in here, I alone might be saved. But if I don't open it, it'll surely be against the rules. And Dad, Cannon, Shannon, Aunt Kyrie, and Dr. Nanjo will be killed. There's no way the scales will balance out between 5 lives and my own 1 life. Jessica tightly shut her eyes, resisting the other part of herself that said, Isn't it okay as long as I stay alive? Faced the door and made to unlock it. At that time, clap, clap, clap. A crisp applause rang out, making Jessica's heart leap, probably Ronove. Hey, guess who's right? If the door had remained locked, it might have been in violation of the rules, and harm could have come to the hostages. But despite that, your own life might be saved. However, you resisted that temptation and were about to unlock the door yourself. That bravery of yours is worthy of admiration. Who? Huh? Why is it going so fast? If I, the owner of this room, searched everywhere a human could have been hiding, where did this man come from? There was nowhere for a human to hide, but could something non-human have managed it? This was supposedly my first meeting with this largely built, middle-aged man. I didn't recognize this guy, who looked like a butler and bore the crest of the one-winged eagle. A pleasure to meet you, Jessica. I serve as head furniture for the master, the 27th of the 72. I am called Ronove. Ronove? Genji? Ah yes, Genji is like my little brother. Or perhaps he was my true form while in this world. True form? So it's like Genji to you, Kumasawa to Virgilia or something like that? You might even say he was my vessel. What the fuck? What's this guy saying? Oh, my apologies. This is not something a human would be able to understand. Well then, let us move on to the main event. So, this is that test or whatever that damn geezer talked about? Correct. This is a test that the Masters granted you, Jessica. Oh shit. At Ronove's elegant gesture, like that of a butler ordering for a meal to be set out, many gold butterflies flew up out of nowhere. What the hell? As a cloud of gold butterflies spun around in a small swirl, they gathered in one place. A letter? Then that golden mound disappeared like a pile of leaves blown away by a cold wintry wind. And there lay a western envelope with the one-winged eagle crest done on it in gold leaf. With a gesture, Ronove urged her to pick it up. Jessica timidly did so and opened the letter inside. What's this? It's an exceedingly simple test to determine whether one is qualified to become the successor. Please attend to the question written there with a fitting attitude for the successor who is to support the Ushiromiyas family. And tell me your answer as well as the thoughts that led you to it. Dumbass. Shaking, Jessica looked between the paper and Ronove's face several times. What's the question? Now what? George? At that time, George, who had been called out after Jessica, could be seen in the arbor of the Rose Garden. If things had gone normally, he had planned to give Shannon the ring that would be proof of their engagement, here at this time on this day. But the woman in front of George now was not Shannon, it's probably Gap then. Hello! Read it. That is Goldsmith's test for you. George picked up the western envelope, which was on the table where he once had tea with Shannon, and read its contents. Perhaps its message was short. After glancing at it, George's eyes grew sharp. What's this supposed to be? It is as you see. This is the test given to you, to see if you're qualified to be the successor. As you ask yourself whether you truly are so qualified, answer that question. What a stupid question. That's right. It really is a stupid question. Doesn't that mean the Ushiromiyas family inheritance is also something on that level in Goldsmith's eyes? George lowered his eyes to the surface of the letter once again, examining its contents. George and Jessica. While the tests given to them were slightly different, they were almost exactly the same. The fuck? What is it? Among the 3 mentioned below, in order to gain 2, sacrifice 1. Oh. Okay, one of these types of things. There's a simple 3 choices. Decide for yourself which one you would choose to abandon. If you refuse to choose, the test will be suspended. I've been given permission to kill you right here by my own hands. If you want to include even that as a choice, then there are 4 options. It's been an awful long time since I've gotten to play with a kid like you, so I can't say I'd be disappointed. Don't you just create holes that don't even catch old women? So, wow. Are these 3 choices only a test? Or will the consequence of my choice be carried out? Don't be so naive. The one you choose will definitely lose their life. Oh shit. Among the 3 mentioned below, in order to gain 2, sacrifice 1. 1, your life. Uh-oh. 2, Shannon's life. 3, everyone else's lives. Oh my fucking god. If you do not choose one, all of the above will be lost. Why is Shannon's name here? The second choice has the name of the one most needed and most loved by the test taker. I believe Cannon's name is ranked second on Jessica's test. You gave this stupid question to Jessica too? You shouldn't be worrying about Jessica, right? Right now, you are the one being tested. It really is a simple 3-choice test, which can you throw away for the sake of the other 2. Isn't that simple? If you still can't decide, would you like me to lend you a coin? A coin. How would you choose between 3 options with something that only has 2 sides? No one would throw away their own life. So there remain 2 choices that will leave you standing. Would you give up on everyone for the sake of the one you love? Or you give up on the one person you love so that you can save as many people as possible? Either way, you should be able to find a fitting just cause. After all, this Rokajima is now a demon island. The sentimental relationships of the human world aren't necessary here. No one will blame you. Do as your heart desires, and ask yourself whether you're qualified to succeed the Ushiromiyas family headship. Or rather, make your decision as if you truly were the Ushiromiyas family head. Okay? George and Jessica. George strikes me as the type of person to say 1. I don't know what Jessica will say. Probably 3. They're not gonna choose 2, though. Fuck you guys. Mocking me like this? Jessica crumpled the letter up and threw it on the floor. I believe your anger is quite appropriate. I also find it an exceedingly pitiful and yet truly humorous question. How could anyone wish to die themselves? And how could anyone want to remain alive after abandoning the life of the one they love? And how could anyone massacre everyone else as long as it's good for the 2 of them? No, Jessica. Such a person could exist. This is Rokajima, the demon island. It is now completely cut off from the human world and fully immersed in the spirit world like cheese fondue. So saying cheese in Ronabe's voice, cheese. Values of the human world get taken out with the trash. So please, rank the things you desire from the bottom of your heart. Whatever remains will become a fitting answer for you in this insane evening. Don't fuck with me. How could I choose any of these? If you do not choose one, all of the above will be lost. Also makes for a fine 4th option. Even choosing that should give us an amusing show. But since that choice will result in the loss of your own life in the end, I believe it would be more wise to be pure and choose the first one, your life, so that the other 2 will be saved. Everything has been entrusted to your decision, Jessica. Please, let me hear an answer and conviction fitting for the successor to the Ushiromiyas family headship. I, Ronove, am sincerely hoping for a wonderful answer, fitting for the master's descendant who shares his blood. Damn it! This is really weird. So Batware and Maria are also gonna have that test? Who the fuck would be on Batware's? Like, Kyrie? And then Maria's really the tough one. Who the fuck would be on Maria's? That scene was observed through the magic crystal ball Kinzo held. Kinzo finally couldn't hold it back and spreading his arms and facing the heavens, began laughing in an explosive voice. Oh boy, better get away from the mic.
Oh fuck. What are you wavering for, foolish grandchildren? My descendants? Isn't this problem so easy that you could answer right away? Isn't this a question that should cause you to waver less than whether to put butter or jam on your morning toast?
Kinzo would pick the first option, guaranteed. Actually, no, he'd pick 3. He would.
Do you people know the correct answer?
He turned to face the Chester sisters, who had been waiting on him.
No, my apologies. I don't know, Lord Goldsmith.
Fool! Not choosing at all means game over! I keep right-clicking. You foolish rabbit, who cannot even choose a reason or a goal for your own life. You aren't worth a single ant that anyone might step upon without even noticing. Die. Be crushed. Disappear faster than I can blink. And what of you?
I would sacrifice the first one, your own life, sir. Weapons fight and die in battle, and weapons exist to destroy enemies and protect allies. Being able to protect those we love and then die is our satisfaction, sir.
Oh, a truly splendid model answer for a weapon. The immediate reply is very nice. So have you been raised to think you'll be given an extra carrot for answering that way? That's wrong, see? Even that is wrong, see? Answering that way when you are asked is nothing more than giving the answer you have been indoctrinated with. You are the same as that other rabbit a second ago. You still live without having chosen a purpose or a goal to strive for. You filth that doesn't deserve to live. It would suit you well to be crushed and used as fodder for the other livestock.
Yes, sir. Animal fodder would be an honor.
That's wrong, right? You don't want to see anyone else die anymore, right? Why can't you accept that? Accept that the depths of the... Fucking what? Accept that the depths of the depths of your own... Accept that the depths of your own wound are still festering and rotting. The depths of the depths of the depths of the depths of the depths. Yes, the rotting stench would make the nose wrinkle. You foolish, rotten rabbit! These are words of praise for you.
Thank you very much, sir. She'll probably answer perfectly for him.
Well then, what about you, the last one? Which of the 3 choices would you choose?
Me? Without wavering, I choose the second one.
Oh, the second. There are not many who could stick their chest out and choose to offer the one they love as a sacrifice. Tell me your reason.
Because the one you love will be lost eventually. If you don't love anyone, you won't get hurt, and if you lose someone, you might still... If you don't love anyone, you won't get hurt, and if you lose someone, you still might be able to love again. So, the person you love right now isn't worth that much at all, yeah?
Oh, he's gonna hate that.
I see. So that is why you reached such an answer. You rabbit who has become cowardly from pain caused by love. I have heard that rabbits can die from loneliness, but just when was it that your heart was killed? Then, rabbit, I shall alter the question. Why don't I change the second option to not the one you love, but the memories of the one you loved? How is that? Can you still select that one? What's this about the one you love not being worth much at all, foolish rabbit? Filth who cannot even face up to the depths of her own love. Try and choose it. Try and choose to have the one you loved forgotten. You can do it, right? I'll bet you can, right? Come on. Try saying that you can, okay?
Yes, I can choose it. I can choose it.
Lord Goldsmith, please stop this.
Who's...
Enough, rabbit filth. Go to Virgilia and help keep watch on the dungeon. Disappear.
The Chester sisters, with their respective old wounds of the heart gouged out, escaped by disappearing. After that, even though there was no one to hear, Kinzo continued talking by himself as though in a play.
It's time for my Shakespeare soliloquy. Indeed, that is the nature of this charming test. In truth, no choice can be said to be correct. Instead, regardless of which answer they choose, it's about whether they can choose without hesitation, quickly, and with a resolute conviction and their own strong, unshakable will. It's their reason and their willpower that are the most essential. That is what I want to learn. Yes, my descendants, I am truly looking forward to what kind of answer you will show me. Me? Yes, of course, I once had the same question thrust upon me.
This literally is a Shakespeare soliloquy.
Because I splendidly answered that devil's question, I was able to obtain golden honor, and that which is my possession. Which answer did I choose? Do you really need me to say it out loud?
Either chose 2 or 3, that's for sure, because he's alive. My throat hurts now, thanks Kinzo. Well then, have you nearly decided on your answer? As Jessica stared at the letter that had been crushed and lay on the floor, she hung her head in constant silence. All that filled the room was a stir from wind and rain shaking the treetops. Regardless of how noisy that was, it actually made the stillness more apparent. Ronove waited for Jessica's answer. However, Jessica didn't answer. Whether she was lost in deep thought or had stopped thinking, Ronove couldn't tell. No, he might actually have known. But cruelly, like a demon, Ronove urged Jessica to voice it. If you cannot choose any, I can at least bring you peace without pain, but... me. Oh, she chose the first option. Yes? I had trouble hearing. Could you say it again, please? Jessica lifted her face and looked straight into Ronove's eyes. It seemed that she had decided on her answer. Kill me. Oh, shit. Jessica said it one more time. Clearly, she looks super depressed. Perhaps Ronove had imagined that this would be her answer from the very beginning. Without any surprise, he smiled lightly and nodded. I thought you would choose that answer, Jessica. Well then, there is no right or wrong answer to this test. The essential part is what thoughts led you to that answer. Come now, please answer with a fitting attitude for the successor. It's not like I chose the first one because I want to die. The second one was letting Cannon die. Of course, that was out of the question, so I excluded it. The third one was everyone else's lives. Of course, that was also out of the question, so I excluded it. After that, only the first choice remained. Process of elimination, is it? So it was not something you chose proactively. After chuckling slightly, Ronove dropped his gaze. A human couldn't even imagine what answer a demon would have been expecting. All she could understand was that this was apparently slightly below Ronove's expectations. That answer is neither bad nor good. 60%, I believe you could call it. I'm a little disappointed. You're a pretty selfish bastard. Tell me to answer with self-confidence and being disappointed when I do? Apparently there was more to it than process of elimination. It's a failing grade either way, but there seems to be a little more to your thoughts. Allow me to ask. People don't want to die, so no one would want to choose the first option. People want to live in happiness, and struggle as much as life will let them. So normally the first choice should be impossible from the beginning. However, you took that first choice. You chose to throw away your own life.
No, don't do that!
Go away, Gundam!
Only that choice remained for you.
I tried thinking of the future that would come after choosing each one.
Oh, and what did you see?
First, I tried letting Cannon die. I tried to imagine the rest of my life after having abandoned the one I love. What kind of life was it? It was a horrible woman who didn't deserve to live. A shabby woman who always lamented her own decision and lived only to regret. I can never forgive a horrible woman who chose to live and abandon the person she loved. I put an end to her myself.
How brave. So did you also consider the third option?
Yeah, I tried letting everyone but me and Cannon die. There's no way Cannon would like me if I did that. So again, even with Cannon, I was forced to bear the cross of abandoning so many people. And even Cannon was forced to bear it. I'm not gonna make a foolish choice, at least Cannon bearing that cross. I want to be able to forgive a future me who did something like that. I put an end to that woman myself, too.
Jessica had pictured it in her mind. The future her... Wait, what? The future her beyond each of the 3 choices. I don't think that sentence makes sense. There were 3 Jessicas. Of the 3, 2 had regrets. Only one could hold her head high and smile at Cannon. You know, I once had the nerve to preach something to Cannon. Something about trying to live life to the fullest. Oh yeah, that was back in the second game, but I'd imagine that still happened. Like, all the cultural festival and Okinawa stuff probably happened in each game. Live your life to the fullest. That's a good line. Meaningful words, and a surprisingly difficult thing to do. So yeah, I've gotta stand proud and show Cannon. Show him how to live by holding your head high and looking straight at the sun with a full smile. Will Cannon be able to accept your self-sacrifice? Haven't you thought that your selfish decision might hurt him more than is necessary? That's why I want to leave a message. Oh, I will listen, but I am after all a demon. I may not keep my promises, you see. Keep it. Your promise. Jessica spoke that looking quite unconcerned. She had asked the demon who was about to take her life to pass on a message, and she didn't think at all that she would be betrayed. At that extremely innocent smile, Ronove closed his eyes lightly and shrugged his shoulders. I see nothing wrong with that. So, what shall I tell him? What if they're all already dead, the ones in the cell? Tell Cannon to live his life to the fullest. No, that's not quite it. Not Cannon. He still hasn't told me his real name yet. Tell the real Cannon to live his life to the fullest. Oh yeah, I forgot. What is his real name? Tell him that. Lady, are they all still... I guess they are. Jessica, you really are... Ronove is fickle, so he might not have passed the message on. You certainly are fortunate to have me here showing you this scene. Oh, really? A musty three-sided mirror was set beyond the bars, and the scene with Jessica was reflected on it. On the next mirror, the scene with George was reflected in the same way. None of them questioned how a three-sided mirror had appeared from a group of butterflies, nor did they wonder why these scenes with Jessica or George were reflected on it, because the reflected scenes themselves were more important. Are you so prepared to throw your life away for his sake? My apologies. Kraus looked at Cannon with a complicated expression mixed in with a bitter smile. Cannon wouldn't meet his eyes. Virgilia, there's no reason for Milady to throw away her life. Please kill me. Please change it to the second choice. That way everything should resolve itself. Oh, I'm not capable of granting that wish. After all, this is Jessica's own decision, which she herself chose. Oh, hi. At that time, suddenly the air split and the Chester sisters appeared, flying into Virgilia's chest. Oh god, they are absolutely fucking destroyed. Virgilia! Ah!
So mean, so mean. Lord Goldsmith is so mean. Ah!
Reading is tough. Oh, even she's crying.
I'm doing the best I can. Crushing me for animal fodder. That's just too much.
Virgilia, who still didn't have a clue what was going on, was mobbed by the sobbing Chester sisters.
There. Everything's alright. Don't cry. I'll make you some delicious tea. I'm leaving it up to you all to guard this place. If they do anything suspicious, inform me immediately.
The goat attendants all faced each other, nodding their heads. Virgilia took the Chester sisters and left. The sound of them going upstairs could be heard, so they had probably gone to an upper floor.
This is our chance. Looks like these goat heads are morons. I wonder if we can trick them.
Kyrie realized that an opportunity had arrived, but even so, she hadn't thought of a way to break the metal bars. Though Jessica reflected on the three-sided mirror had her eyes closed, as though in contemplation. The way she had both hands stuck into her pockets, wanting to be defiant until the very end, might have been her own aesthetic stance.
That's all I have to say. Kill me.
Understood. Well then, fear not, for I shall make your death more gentle and merciful than any sleep. As Ronove raised his palm, he slowly approached Jessica. That's probably Cannon.
Damn it.
Oh, that's Kraus.
Damn it.
Realizing that his daughter was about to be killed, Kraus went half mad and repeatedly body slammed the metal bars. The goats looked like they were sneering at how a mere human didn't stand a chance at breaking those bars. Kraus's pointless efforts certainly may have been comical, but Kraus was giving it everything he had. He was now living with all he had as Jessica's father, so that he could save her. Cannon made tight fists with both hands. If he used his cursed power, he might be able to cut through even metal bars. But there were a full 3 goats. There was no way he could defeat 3 of them in an instant. It'd instantly be reported, and then even Virgilio and the Chester sisters would probably dash in. Even if he could break the bars, that would be the end of it. It was useless. Cannon already knew that the witch sneered at useless efforts like that, so he could do nothing but stare at Krause's repeated body slams.
George.
Shannon, who had been looking at the 3-sided mirror, raised her voice. When they looked, they could see George, who had been silent the whole time, lift his face. It seemed that George had also decided on an answer. He's probably saying 1 as well,